Ooh, this is kind of spooky.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Halloween.
Kind of.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, now it's rocking. There it is. Roland, do you know what that is?
Yes, I do.
What is that music?
It's from a zombie map from Black Ops called Ascension.
Oh, look at that. A Black Ops. That's the zombie video game you love, right?
Yes, Call of Duty Zombies.
Awesome. Awesome. So Roland is back, ladies and gentlemen, back with a vengeance. And we're going to have a little fun today. Roland and Arden are taking over the show just for a little while. Toto and Abigail are going to talk politics in a little bit. But first, we're talking zombies. Everyone loves zombies. Abigail hates zombies, but everyone else in the world does. So, Roland, did you know there's over 350 different varieties of zombies that have been written about?
I did not know that, no.
But luckily, Zombiepedia, yes, there is a thing called Zombiepedia, actually broke it down into 4. And I just wanted to kind of go over these real fast because some of them you may know, some of them you don't know. For example, number 1, chemical created zombies. Now, chemical created zombies are something that I believe could actually happen. Something like the Ebola virus, SARS, AIDS. We just had COVID.
Did you say SARS?
SARS.
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 Yes, SARS is the correct pronunciation.
I just have been lectured, Roland. Can you imagine that? I got lectured. Anyway, those are blood-borne, they're medical, things like those lines. Then, radiation. Now, you have you ever watched any of the Romero ones? Night of the Living Dead, one of the most famous movies ever.
No.
She's unbelievable. Unbelievable, Roland. Well, radiation would be something obviously from out of this world that comes down, radiates the ground, bam, all of a sudden the dead are rising. Could happen. Third, parasites. Now, parasites, okay. Well, there is actually a thing called, and I think I talked about this way back in season 1, the zombie ant fungus is a real thing. It actually affects carpenter ants, believe it or not, where this specific fungus, the ant will actually walk along the ground. It touches the fungus evaporates into its body. Eventually, it forces the ant to lose its normal ant functions, and it actually grows into the ant. And when it takes control, an ant will grasp onto a leaf and die, and then the fungus burrows through its head and shoots out spores. Disgusting. And that's a real thing. Okay. And
wow, that almost sounds like something that would go on in a laboratory setting.
Yeah, probably.
With bacteria and...
I think the Wuhan virus may actually have that. I mean, think about that. You have 1 million soldiers in the field. And you fly over them, you dust them with this stuff. All of a sudden, they get killed. They come back to life and keep fighting. I would not be surprised if we've done it and the Chinese have done it. I have no proof, obviously. And then the final one, probably the least famous zombies, but in the old days, pre-1960, they were the only zombies, and those were magical zombies, basically voodoo zombies.
Okay, what about the mummy? Zombies.
That's not that's a mummy. That would actually be a magical one.
Well, now I feel silly.
Yes,
mummies are not zombies.
Well, in a way they are, but they would be listed as a magical one because they were always reincarnated or not reincarnated. Excuse me. They are always brought back to life by something.
Do they get rewrapped?
Yes.
Okay.
And how many mummies are daddies? Interesting. Useless information, Roland. Sorry, why did I call you Ronald? Anywho, so now with all these zombies, now do you like any of the zombie movies? Like not The Walking Dead, that would be a show. There's like the most famous are the Romero ones. Those are all radiation. Night of the Living Dead was in black and white. It's amazing. Then you got the famous ones like World War Z. 28 days later, 28 weeks later. Then you have all of the South Korean ones. Are any of those that you like, not like?
I did like 28 days later and 28 weeks later. I'd really like those. World War Z, I wasn't actually all that big of a fan of that one.
Yeah, the book is so much better. I mean, the book is actually a diary.
You read?
Yes, I did read. In fact, I have a book right here written by Max Brooks. It's called The Zombie Survival Guide. Now, Max Brooks, his dad is actually Mel Brooks, the comedian. But this guy gives college lectures on how to survive a zombie apocalypse. But it's also good in case of everything in this book can also be related to if natural disasters. For example, always having survival gear, water, things along those lines, and where you should have them, how you should have them. Don't expect help.
Hey, Roland.
Yes.
When I first met Arden, he told me he was a nerd. I just didn't know he could take it to this level.
Yeah, when it comes to zombies, I am that level. Now, the 28 days later, what's interesting about those guys? They are ragers of the 350 different kinds because they're angry and they just want to kill everything. It's pure rage. They can run as faster than anyone else has. Like, they're not the creepy guys that walk around. They just are like insane and they just want to kill anything. Anyway, then you had like brain eaters and anyone else. Now, with that, another one. I know Roland and I, we were watching a little Walking Dead today. Now, are you a fan of Walking Dead? The spin-offs, anything like that?
I'm a huge fan of The Walking Dead.
Who's your favorite character?
Daryl.
Abigail's looking at us like, who the hell is Daryl? So why do you like Daryl so much?
I just think he's just really cool. I think the main reason actually is because he uses a crossbow. I think it's really cool. Cool weapon.
He does. And
Crossbow.
he uses a crossbow. And it's funny because every time he kills a zombie, he has to pick up his little dart or bolt, because it's not like crossbows are easy to make. The actual bolts.
Okay.
Yeah. He's also the only one in the show who was a survivalist ahead of time.
So is he still alive?
Yes. In fact, he has his own show now.
So he made it all the way through.
All the way through, and he's still kicking on his own. It's called Daryl Dixon.
How many other characters have made it?
I don't know. Well,
You mean like from the start of the show?
Yeah,
or?
they haven't been killed or become zombies.
Characters, they come and go throughout the show.
Okay.
the only other one from the very, very beginning is Rick. But he was dead, or you thought he was dead for like 6 full seasons of The Walking Dead. But he's back. Because there's other characters who came in the second season that are also still alive.
So, Roland, how many seasons is The Walking Dead?
The Walking Dead has 11 seasons, but there's even more than that if you count the spin-off shows.
11 seasons.
11 seasons.
Wow. I wonder what year it came out.
It started in 2010.
2010? Look at you, Roland.
Let's see.
I didn't start
Knowledgeable.
watching until 2013, 2014.
What about them?
2013, 2014 is when I started watching.
Okay.
Now, my favorite was Carl, the son. He's the biggest badass ever. He gets shot in the chest. Then later on, he gets shot in the eye. Didn't he lose his hand too?
Almost.
Yeah, he's like the biggest badass ever. And the kid who played him, if he actually decided he wanted to do other things, or else he would probably be the main guy in the show. He'd be definitely still around. He was awesome. But then you had other shows. They had a zombie comedy show called Zombie Nation, which starts out in Fredericksburg, Maryland, as a oopsie, kind of like a Wuhan virus, where the zombie virus escapes the Fort Detrick. In Fort Detrick, yeah. It actually escapes there. And they mention that by name. That's pretty messed up.
Well, that's where the scientists, they accused him of spreading the spores of anthrax.
Yes, I remember that
He
one.
ended up killing himself.
See? And that's why I do believe that zombies could eventually be real. Could, in theory. Maybe not like that. Now, have you ever seen The Last of Us? I've not seen that.
I've played the game.
It's a game, too?
Yeah. The show is actually based off the game. Well,
Huh.
I've only seen the first 2 to 3 episodes of the show, but so far everything has been pretty accurate to what the game was. But I don't know if the later episodes stay true to the game or if they add or change certain things or not.
Now, what kind of zombies are they? I've never seen the show, and I want to know if I can.
The zombies, they call them infected in the show. They don't
Okay.
call them zombies. They call them infected. But one of the zombies is called a clicker, and the zombie is the clickers are blind. They can't see anything, but they have insane hearing. If you make one little noise, they're gonna know where you're at, and they will chase you.
Oh, wow, look at that. Now, there was a BBC show that I liked. I mean, the acting was terrible. It's called In the Flesh. It's only 9 episodes long. That's it. And it's actually after the zombie apocalypse that they found a cure and they were actually able to cure infected. And it's messed up because they have people who literally know they killed other people as zombies. And first they didn't have they had no rights. They had nothing. They were in like these camps. But like just imagine you're like, and in this, the main star is like a 16-year-old kid. And he remembers like killing his girlfriend's parents and eating them. And just how messed up the whole like concept is. Like he has every memory of every person he ever killed as a zombie.
I've never heard anything like that. That's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, and like I said, the acting is silly, and it just sadly went off the air. 9 episodes total, but pretty cool concept.
Sounds like it was a dud.
Yeah, it was BBC dud. Yeah, I just like the fact that like, if you ever get a chance, Zombieland. It's a comedy, but like they actually tell you things that you kind of really might want to know, like cardio, how important cardio is in life. You know, like basically you have to be able to run faster than someone else. And the fat guys are always getting eaten first, and the fat ladies, and I'm talking as a fat guy. You know, like I would be the first one who dies.
What was another one? Don't be a hero. Is that one of the rules?
Yeah, don't be a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just little thing, like the guy in the movie has just a list of do's and don'ts, and he would sit there. Rule 43: double tap, meaning always like shoot twice to make sure it was dead. And he learned that because he was in a bathroom and all he had was the top of the toilet that comes off, and he only hit the zombie one time. And he learned his lesson because the zombie came after him again, and he realized he should have hit it a second time.
I see.
Aha! Yes, good movies. What else do we got for zombies? Games. And this is where Roland knows his stuff.
Yeah, Call of Duty Zombies. I'm a huge nerd. I spent several years and still do spend my time playing it.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing.
So, what kind of zombies are they? I mean, how do you kill them? And
You can kill them all. You can shoot them. You can stab them. Shooting and stabbing them are the only ways to kill them. But you could also use these traps. When I say traps, I mean like you can walk up to a switch and like electricity turns on. Like if the zombies run through a trap, they get electrocuted. There's also certain maps that have different traps. One also has like a chain trap where it like takes the heads off the zombies, the chains. And there's also a trap that just blades. It just slices them up.
Arden likes that.
I do. I want to play now.
What do you call that thing? A chipper?
A wood chipper. And I will discuss wood chipper later for one of our political statements that a person should be thrown in a wood chipper. But yeah.
How long have you been playing that game? For a while, right?
Yeah, Call of Duty Zombies. I started playing that. I played it casually up from like 2013 to like 2016. But until 2017, that's when I really started to like take it seriously. And like to me, it became more than just a game to me. I spent like almost all my time playing it, so like the game's always got a special place in my heart.
Now,
That's really cool.
Are the graphics cool? Now, the reason I asked that, the only sort of zombie game I played as younger, I can't say as a kid because I was already an adult, was Doom or the original Resident Evil, and the graphics were like 16-bit graphics, so everything was cheesy looking now. Like, are the graphics like, do they look like real zombie people? Or is it like cartoonish?
So there's several. There's like several different zombies. There's like 6 Black Ops games. All of them have zombies, but like I've only played like really the first 3.
Okay.
And there's also one before that called World at War. That one's actually like the most realistic looking one, like as far as graphics. The first Black Ops, that looks pretty realistic as well. Black Ops 2, it has more of a cartoonish kind of look to it. And so is Black Ops 3. It has more of a cartoonish kind of feel to it. But out of all of them, Black Ops 3 is probably my favorite one. I mean, yeah, it might not like look realistic. It's kind of cartoony, but as far as like gameplay and like strategies, that's my favorite game.
So what's the latest version?
The latest one is Black Ops 6, and
6. Wow.
it's kind of a terrible game. If I'm being
Wow,
honest.
you're not a fan.
Not at all. I mean, well, okay. Maybe I shouldn't say it's terrible, but it's nothing like Black Ops 3, and that's like my favorite one. So I guess
I
Yeah.
know how that goes.
Uh-huh.
Right, Arden? I
Yeah.
don't like to try new things.
I hate Civilization after 3. Like now they're at the 7 or 8, and I can't stand them. They suck. But like now, Black Ops 3, that was the one you broke the world record in.
Yes. Well, yeah, I did have the world record. Well, it was tied. I was tied with like three other people at the time, but the tiebreaker people considered me that I had the record at the time. Okay. People determined that I had the record because got to the highest round possible and the fastest because me and a bunch of other guys hit around 255, right? So they're like, so how do you determine who's like has the world record out of the four of you? Well, whoever did it the fastest.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and that was me at the time. But ever since then, like I've been beaten by like at least two or three other guys. But I did hold it for over a year though.
Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. That's
Wow.
wonderful.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And when we were kids, like Activision, the
Yes.
company, like they had a game called Pitfall.
Uh-huh.
They had a game called Freeway, which was a little chicken going across the road. But like in Pitfall, if you finished the game, you beat all the levels, you had to take a picture of it. You sent it in, you were going to get a patch. I don't know what. I did it. I never got my patch.
I remember the arcade.
Yeah.
Even with Miss Pac-Man, it would show your name and the number of points you got. If you're in the top 10,
Right.
they kept those ranks. But in today's day and age, what Roland did is he beat the world.
Right. The fastest.
Right.
Speed running.
Yeah, but he beat the whole world.
Right. Not like me.
And like to kind of like say like I thought this is worth mentioning. Like it took me over 50 hours. It took me 56 hours, just about 57 hours of playing time to get around 255, and that's everyone else. And like I did the fastest. Like the second guy got like 59, the other guy got 60 hours, the other guy got 63 hours. I did in 57. So like it's a pretty might not sound like a big difference, but it is.
That must suck. Like, it's like, damn it, if I don't finish this in 1 minute, and then, damn it, like, get all mad. Like, you didn't do it
Get to
fast.
the end.
Like, you finished it, and you're like, wow, I still lost. Flip a table.
Now, Roland, I believe I remember that you really studied this. Like you would go on YouTube and watch other people play. Did you do that, or was it with different games?
No, I learned from I learned from like two other guys. They pretty much, well, they didn't sit down and teach me how to play. I pretty much studied their gameplay. I pretty much studied what they were doing when I was watching them.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, you're the only person I know that has a world record.
Well, thanks. And like, that's definitely like, probably like it's probably my best achievement in my life. It might sound a little like, it's
No.
stupid to say about it because it's a video game, but it truly is it truly is the hardest thing I've done in my life. Like, I'm not even kidding when I say that.
Well, now that colleges actually recruit gamers. Like, like that actually is a great way to get into college. Hey, I was the world record. Because you have like all these drone guys who actually fly drones. They're all former gamers now. Because they want guys who actually know how to do that. So, if you were a little younger, you could actually go to college and be a gamer, professional.
So can I talk about zombies?
Of course, you can talk about zombies.
All I know is you guys have been talking about zombies. I have a few, and that includes Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, and many others. They might as well be zombies or mummies. But at the end of the day, they're all old and they gotta go.
They do have to go. By the way, I was doing a really bad Diamond and Silk impersonation right there. I was going,
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Roland has no
So-
idea who that is.
Of course, the biggest zombie of them all is Joe Biden.
Yes.
So, Arden, there's several categories, but cover up or no cover up?
A ridiculous cover up. And like idiot zombie Chuck Schumer coming up going, we gotta move forward. We're gonna move forward. When he was questioned, he won't even.
Fuck Chuck. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Arden's
She
mom.
up-chucked-
I'm really sorry, but I had to say that because they're the similar words.
Yeah, and it's disgusting. They don't. Okay. First of all, Trump was impeached after he left office. They didn't move forward then. But this isn't a tit for tat. Like, someone other than Joe Biden was running the White House, some unelected official. That's illegal. People should be going to jail for this. Basically, it was a coup. It was a coup. I mean, they had a figurehead. It was like a Weekend at Bernie's situation, a movie I guarantee Roland has never seen. But anyway, I mean, like, he was on the beach when Autopen was running the country. But who was signing it? And there's like, and then now you look at like Jean-Pierre, the press secretary. She had to be in on it. Was it Dr. Jill Biden? Was she the one running the country? Who was using the Autopen? Was it Hunter Biden signing his own pardon? We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's two big categories here. One is, his mental acuity.
Yes.
And the other is his newfound cancer. But let's talk about the mental acuity, because everyone knows that the big book written by Jake Tapper and the loser from Axios came out this week. And it said many things that most of us already knew. But there certainly were some tidbits that we didn't. And it really, really is just unbelievable how this man got away with his zombie-like behavior for so long. And it's ironic that Jake Tapper is a reporter, but yet he writes a book about how the news media missed this story.
Right.
And Megyn Kelly, who's one of my fan favorites now, she had Jake on her show. And she pretty much had him over the coals the whole time. He had indicated that when she said, how can you justify the job you did? And all he kept saying was, I have humility now. Humility.
Humility. Yeah. You know what? I have my humility. I know I've said it 1,000 times. Cleaning a public bathroom. That is how you gain humility. Not literally being a very wealthy man who then writes a book about something he knew about and covered up himself, and now he wants to make millions on it. That's not humility.
Yeah, I mean, Megyn, Jake actually said something to the effect that we've got the story right now, and Megyn just said to him, there's only one person on this podcast right now that got the story right, and that was her.
Right.
And the rest of us conservatives.
Right. And was he the one who also had to apologize to Ivanka Trump? Was it Ivanka
Not
Trump?
Ivanka, Laura Trump.
Laura Trump, excuse me.
He
Had the wrong Trump.
humiliated her.
Yeah.
Back in 2020, I'm sorry. She was on she was on his show, and he accused her of making fun of his stutter, and that she wasn't a medical person and had no right to try to analyze Joe Biden's mental acuity. It just got bad. I mean, Arden just mentioned the Autopen with the pardons, but what about legislation?
Right. He signed it all.
And executive orders?
Who signed the executive orders? We don't know.
There is a segment in the book that whereas the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, is that his
Yes.
name? He actually had a conversation with Joe Biden about some energy policy, I believe, that Biden had pushed forward. But when the speaker tried to talk to him about it, Biden clearly had no recollection about that information.
Right. He said it didn't even he said that it wasn't law yet, and Mike Johnson actually said, Mr. President, you actually signed it into law. He didn't know it, that he signed something.
Right. And then, of course, with all the coverage on these books, a lot of the cheap fakes, that's what they like to call them.
Yep, cheap fakes.
Have been playing constantly in the news. And, I don't need to go into any of them, but I did see one that I hadn't seen before. And that was when he was interviewed by Nicole Wallace, who's a complete bitch on MSNBC. They were wrapping up the interview, and Biden should have sat there until they faded out. But instead, he got up and walked out of the studio, and he looked like he was totally out of it.
Yeah. And almost like when he would finish a speech and shake nobody's hand. Or in Italy, where he just started walking away. Like just walking into the sunset, like a dumb zombie. But here was an interesting one. So this is, when did he get cancer situation?
Okay, so...
Well, this is interesting. So the Washington Times, and by the way, try finding this video. It's almost impossible. You have to go through like 10 pages of on YouTube to actually find the video. Says, as he was president, they talked about him. He said there were only two things that would stop me from working with President Obama. And number one was if I all of a sudden have prostate cancer. That was in 2015. Did he have it back then? Because when was the last time he had his prostate checked?
In 2014, according to the White House.
So in 2014 he had it, and he makes a statement about having possible and that he would leave office if he had prostate cancer 1 year later. Mm-hmm. So he probably would have known about it.
Well, and it came the time it got. I don't wish him death. I really don't. But unfortunately, they have lost the trust of the American people.
Right.
So how are we to believe that he is diagnosed last Friday?
Magically.
Just
has it.
As the book is coming out, as other things are happening, he magically puts out there that he's been diagnosed with essentially a death sentence. Right?
Yeah.
And, it was pointed out on some of the shows that their statement had indicated that the cancer, so to speak, is hormone sensitive. Well, to prove that, you have to be having that treatment for a while.
Exactly.
But yet, he suddenly is announcing that is the case, and he just found out about it last week. So, again, whether it's true or whether it's not, unfortunately, they laid their bed, and now they're going to have to lie in it.
Speaking of lying in it, the big, beautiful bill passed. Now, this is a little sad. So it passed 215 to 214. And the only reason why it passed is because my former congressman, Jerry Conley, died.
That guy's been around forever.
So he dies. That if he had voted, if he was alive and voted, it would have been a tie. The big, beautiful bill would have failed. That is how important every vote matters. And I don't know how that could be recalled or anything else.
Yeah, so, that was a win for him, for Trump. He also, I didn't get to watch it, but he gave a commencement speech at West Point. That was today.
Yeah, it was pretty funny actually.
Yeah, and but didn't he talk? They said that he talked about once again men and women's sports.
Yep, he talked about men and women's sports. He talked now. Okay, for this type of speech, I would not actually talk politics on it, and he did. And you could tell, people there wasn't as much clapping and laugh. But when he was talking about the soldiers, and there's a tradition, and I didn't know about it, about demerits, and you had to actually walk a certain amount of times and do stuff. So first, he talks about this one guy who broke a record about having one of the fastest time. He had the fastest time ever in a certain march. It was like a midnight march, and he broke the record by 13 minutes. And he has the guy walk on stage. The kid was terrified. He goes on stage. Then they have, okay, I heard that 100 of you also had all these demerits on your record. Stand up. And he made every one of them. Now, a demerit, for those who don't know, is a bad thing. And he made everyone stand up who had demerits. And the guy who was the record holder, he actually had demerits. So he goes, what are you doing standing up? And I just give you praise. But then he goes, as tradition, you're all pardoned. And they're all wiped off your record. So that was cool. And then he brought the football captain on stage, and he was like, look at this guy. And he slaps him on the shoulder. He's like, this is like steel. And you're going to be an infantry officer? Oh my man. Yeah, feel sorry for the enemy. He's just awesome when he speaks real to people. He made everyone in the audience who served stand up. And he goes, these are the heroes who came before you. And you will be the heroes, and there will be heroes after you. And you just,
wow, what a great line.
You feel great about America when you see this. Mm-hmm. He even acknowledged the two women who were the first women cadets to actually pass the diver training. Never happened before, and he called them out. He wanted them to come up on stage, but for some reason they weren't there. but and he called out the lacrosse team. First time ever the lacrosse team was #1 rated. Just like amazing, like I don't think they knew what was happening, but just a great speech. Anyway, I'm tired. I'm going on a tangent.
All right.
But I did want to mention that wood chipper thing again about the guy, the free Palestine guy.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that before we do a little Trumpy Orb?
Sure.
Okay, so all right, so there was this couple, this really sweet couple who was they were going to go back to Israel, were killed by a guy who literally is a terrorist. And not only did he shoot them both, the girl was laying down. He had the time to reload and shoot her again. And then he yells, free Palestine, free Palestine, as he's walking in. Like, this guy really thinks that, like, he's a martyr himself.
I mean, do you think that any of the protests and the unsettlement in these campuses and throughout the country, do you think that impacted this guy?
I wonder. I would say yes.
Yeah.
And wood chipper,
Yes.
feet first,
But,
on slow.
we can't talk about these universities without bringing up the judiciary meeting this past week with Marco Rubio, who's becoming a very big hero in my eyes.
He was funny.
He was funny. He went up against Van Hollen.
Mm-hmm.
Van Hollen just went on a tirade at him and basically said,
Well,
I shouldn't have voted for you.
right. I regret voting for you.
Right, I
and,
regret.
and Rubio quickly turns around and goes, that means I'm doing my job.
And Rubio just went on the offense and made it clear that a visa is not a right, it's a privilege.
Correct.
And he is going, as Secretary of State, he has the authority to revoke those visas. And he's going to do it.
Yeah.
And I say amen.
I mean, and then you had Sidney Blumenthal, last thing, and then we could have some fun with the Trump orb. So Sidney Blumenthal was criticizing Trump, and Mr. Stolen Valor himself, I served in combat. No, you didn't. You're a liar, and he was bashing Trump for literally, like, being a liar in chief. And it's just like, where are these Democrats allowed to do this? What is wrong with, like, they're just, wood chipper, you can't wood chipper him. He didn't break the law, but what a scumbag.
Okay, let's go to the Trump orb. I think we just do 2.
I think we do 3. You got, I have one, you got one, and
I don't have one, so.
Okay, well, we'll do ours then.
All right, who's up first?
Well, since you and I have been talking so much.
All right, Roland, you're up.
Are zombies real, or will they ever be real?
100%.
Whoa!
I guess you gotta keep killing them, Roland.
Oh,
I
man.
mean, I guess, 100%. I think he's talking about Joe Biden.
I don't know.
Oh, they're already real.
Remember when he was when he would bring up all the Area 51 and he's completely stopped that? He probably got the briefing that aliens are real. So maybe zombies are real. Maybe Dr. Fauci was onto something. Anyway, Trump orb. Will the Senate pass the big, beautiful bill? A little nervous about this one.
It looks like it could happen.
Oh, I was already going to say no, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, I came up with one.
Oh, okay. All right.
Will Chuck Schumer lose to AOC if she elects to run for the Senate?
Ooh, that's a good one. I like that.
We're going to see what happens.
Very exciting. That would be exciting. Chuck Schumer's going to be there forever because he is a zombie.
Yeah, I can't stand him. Anyway, anything else, guys?
No, I think this was fun.
Yeah,
I mean, people have been saying we need more Roland.
That's right. You're a big rock star.
I know. You actually have a following. You have there's like the cult of Roland. You're like that. You're like Boba Fett. Like after Return the Empire Strikes Back, everyone loved him. Boba Fett. Okay.
Alrighty.
Oh yeah, you started with the heavy metal again. Nice. Now I want to play this game and shoot some zombies.
Well, everyone, we are a crotchety old man.
And a woman.
We did that in reverse.
Because we're dead.
We hope everyone enjoys this holiday weekend.
And thank you all for following on X. We are booming. We've had like 700 people in the past 3 months. We're exploding on Twitter. So follow us, see pictures of the doggies.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.